Welcome, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me. So obviously the channel's been a little bit slow, so I do apologize for that. Obviously it makes the views a little bit down, so we're hopefully going to start picking up the pace a little bit there and getting some more consistency for you guys. Obviously the blockchain after hours, would love it if you guys join me for that. We have a good consistent run of people that join us for that, to have just a general chat on everything. Then I really love just kind of shooting the breeze with Hidden and I, and we go through some of the things that we're involved in, and then obviously take a lot of questions and just general comments from the group, and just have general chats about everything. So we're really loving that. On top of that, I will get some more consistency with the content, specifically the 1K wallet challenge. I am going to get off my butt and get that going again, because obviously it's gone through a little bit of a rough patch, but I still want to show you guys hopefully how we can weather these storms and find some solutions to hopefully do a little bit better and make some wins out of the things that we've had. Luckily, we've gotten, I think we still will have some funds to work with, which is the nice thing, and then keep working the system to try and get us ahead of the game without injecting any more money. Or we go to zero, and that tells us that maybe we need to think a little twice about some of the DeFi stuff, which I am going to try and change some of the ways we're looking at stuff and some of the systems that we're using in order to hopefully combat that problem, because I think it's a real issue that we need to be thinking about, and maybe investing in things that are a little bit more transparent. I mean, we think we see things that are transparent, but I don't know if they really are. And also holding control over our funds, I think, is a good thing. But that said, we're going to go through something that's hopefully going to be a little bit more fun, where you don't necessarily have to worry about having custody over your funds because we've got a good team behind it. So if you do have a moment, please do like and subscribe down below. Like I said, it's gone a little bit stale, but looking to keep that growth momentum going, and keep trying to show you guys some things and ways that we can win in the space, and keep fighting for trying to find those wins. And I've done a lot of research on stuff to try and hopefully bring more content and some more varied content to the channel. So I look forward to doing that with you. For today, and I didn't scroll all up. So we are talking about RHYZE. So like and subscribe down below, and especially if you're looking forward to RHYZE, hit that like now. If you aren't sure, then hit the like at the end, whatever works for you. So as you can see, 18 and a half hours-ish until launch. So do be ready if you decide you want to get in this, or if you already have decided to get into this. You'll need some USDC, I believe, in the Polygon network. So you'll want to get that all set up and ready to go. We will go through a couple of things. The neat thing about this is there's a lot of varied mechanics in this, and I guess the best way to start is the team. And as you know, Jason from RHYZE is in this, so obviously looking to take some of his experience with RHYZE and the Up token and other things that he's been involved in. He also has the one and only David, and I guess John. I've just seen David more often, obviously, so I just know that name. He is from Titano. Think what you will. There's a lot of pros and cons going around about him. The main thing is he's hopefully learned from a lot of the things that he's done, and you can say whatever you want about Titano. It was one hell of a beast behemoth during the bull run, and obviously lots of goods and bads came from that, and learnings which can hopefully help feed this protocol quite nicely by having that experience behind it. So good and bad, let's see how that all plays out. But the nice thing is if Jason has some control over the funds, we can at least trust the funds aren't going anywhere. And because of Jason's connection, there'll be some real revenue, I guess, generated, which we'll go through in a moment, from RHYZE and possibly some other protocols, which we'll have to see. So simple buy and earn strategy, fair, transparent, 100% backed. So that's one of the things. The token is 100% backed. Again, compare it to maybe the Up token or MDB Plus. It can never go down because of the tokenomics, and basically this token backing tax that goes on there forces the price of the token up every time there's a buy and sell. So no matter what, that's automatically happening and built into the tokenomics. So what that basically means is, and we'll probably see it later on in here, is all green candles. So the token will never go down. It will only go sideways or up. Obviously, if there's no buys or sells and no revenue generated, then it will stay the same. So, but a couple of things that they're doing differently than any other Up token or MD Plus or whatever is trying to create some revenue to help push the value of the token up and create some buy pressure and sell pressure and gamification to it, to help it keep it current, right? So if nobody's buying or selling, and then all of a sudden they see the price go up, or their tokens go up or anything like that at the same value, then that's going to give some incentive for everybody to go, hey, okay, there's real revenue here. Let's keep buying some of these because that's going to help me get even more and more. Investments, so the 5%, the big thing there is that's going, for instance, into WarFi to give it some real revenue, and then what they'll do is they'll inject that into rebasing over time. And then 1% gets held for injections and rebasing down the road to help gamify the token even more. So you've got a lot of things going in, and all those things, whether it's buy or sell, there's a portion of money being set up to do different things. And I wonder why they have investment and treasury, because the investments, you think, but I guess the treasury is just a hold for other things, and then investments being like WarFi and stuff. And yeah, so that's basically that. And basically when the launch happens, you'll be able to get into that. And green chart, as we already talked about, can't lose money. So, can I lose money? The unlimited upside, obviously, we've talked about that a little bit because the token only goes up. The downfall is you can lose up to 25% of your funds if you were the last guy in, I guess, if you will, or last person in. And if there's no other buys and sells after that, you will be forced to sell. Or if you buy and sell in the same heartbeat, which avoids any people trying to run the token. On top of that, and the other big note about that is there is no liquidity pool. Liquidity pools have their value in the space, but they do create a lot of trading tokens and kind of devalue them over time by trading the liquidity back and forth in order for one own's personal gain, whether it's through a bot or whatever like that. So in this case, because there's no liquidity pool, the funds are all OTC basically, or the funds are transferred OTC basically. There is no issue with your tokens getting devalued by bots or stuff like that. The one disadvantage of that is you have to have a buyer then to float your token. Now, I assume some of that might be the treasury and stuff they'll use that for buybacks. Who knows? But basically, you have to have a buyer, which can possibly delay your ability to sell your tokens quickly. And taxes on the buys and sells. So we're just going through that. It's smart use of rebasing to adjust the supply and circulation. And this is kind of neat too. So there's kind of like a push-pull mechanic to it. Let's say they sell out or rebase all their tokens and they're all outstanding. They'll actually take tokens out of your wallet, but still maintain the value. So they make sure they do it, and then create a better bang or a higher price token doing that. And that way they can then sell more tokens or do other things with the tokens. So that's kind of the push mechanic, I guess, or the pull mechanic, where they pull it back, and then kind of this push one, which is like your regular rebasing, where if there's some tokens available, they'll deliver them to people at the same price that it's at, using things like revenue. So they'll inject maybe the monthly revenue from WarFi. They'll take 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, whatever they end up earning with the treasury that they have, or with the investments that they have, and then inject that in, creating more tokens for everyone to get in their wallets, which then gives them a better value. Or injecting it, if the tokens are all gone, injecting it and then inflating the value of the tokens inside that. So a few different ways that they can do it. I don't have the contract, and I'm not a contract reader to know exactly how that works out, but if you do know that, then have a look. Community focus. So basically there's the community is going to be involved in some of this stuff, and they do have a thing like this little raffle here where they'll have prizes. So this looks like it's a weekly thing. I believe I saw it in here. So RHYZE will hold a weekly raffle where the members of the community will win cash prizes. The community gets to vote on how many winners there are, which is kind of cool. And 50% of the prizes will go to the backing of the RHYZE token, which is kind of a neat little benefit to it, and then 50% will be paid back to winners. So nothing going to the team on this case or anything like that, just the ability to float those monies in there. And then 5%, as we mentioned, going back into the different things. I'm on that. So getting digressed. So other than that, that's kind of the big pros and cons, I guess, if you will. Like I said, cons are if the values, or if there's no interest in buying and selling the token, then that's going to stifle your growth opportunities with this one. And it might be a little harder for you to get your funds out because of the OTC market, which two very real negatives on it. But other than that, the fact that the value can't go down and that you're fairly protected, and with all the different gamification they can do with the different taxes that they're bringing in to kind of buy and sell and rebase will hopefully create some extra incentive for people to do. And I'm assuming they can use some of that treasury to do some fun things in order to engage the community with kind of like if they were to buy, if everybody buys tokens right now, the last buyer gets such and such a prize. So there's lots of different ways they can do this that I've seen other protocols similar to this keep the energy going inside the community, whereby it causes that price action to kind of happen, where others that haven't done that have created a pretty stale protocol for themselves, unfortunately. So hopefully they take advantage of some of those learnings to make this something special. And as I said, I'm going to play around with this. I'm still deciding based on what I can pull out of my capital that I want to play with. I think I did do a withdrawal of my WarFi funds, so I'm probably going to, for this month, so I'm going to put those in there, hopefully, and then a few other dollars I'll try and scrape together somewhere between probably, I'm hoping to get around the 500, maybe if I can save up enough, I'll do $1,000 into this one. That is kind of a bigger investment for me, sort of, but I do want to try and take bigger positions and things that I'm going to go into, just because sometimes you do these $100 things here and there, it becomes kind of hard really to keep track of your funds and where they're going, and B, you end up just losing in a bunch of different pots. So I'm trying to be very focused and methodical about how I'm doing my investings, and we'll go through some more of that in my 1K wallet challenge and a few different things like that. So thanks so much for sticking by for this one. Hopefully watch through to the end. If you do have any questions or anything, by all means put some comments down below, or head into the Discord would obviously be your next step if you haven't already done so, to have a little closer look at what's going on there. And pros or cons, please put them down in the comments below. I really love to hear your feedback, no matter what it is. And we'll keep grinding and keep trying to figure out how to find wins in this space. So join me Tuesday for Blockchain After Hours at 9 Eastern time. And then, like I said, look out for a video for the 1K wallet challenge next week. And we'll see what else I have in store for you next week. Some other content hopefully to come out. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.